And so welcome everybody. Please come lying on your back. Folded blanket under the head, bolster under the knees, making sure you're comfortable. And I have to say, I'm very excited about what we're doing tonight in class. We're going to be bringing awareness to the spine. And this is something that I was doing with one of my teachers this week. And it's just really great for bringing another layer of awareness to the practice, right? So all the poses we're going to do, the target tissue is going to be the spine. So it's just an interesting, some of the poses might just be a little bit different, just so we can access the spine as opposed to different parts of the body. So I hope you enjoy it. I got a lot out of the practice when I did the practice this week. Okay, let's start. Lengthening the back of the neck, moving the shoulders down and back. Feeling the broadening across the heart, the collarbones, arms beside the body, palms facing up towards the sky. The fingers are relaxed. And then bringing your attention to the belly. Seeing if you can just notice the movement of the belly to accommodate the breath. So the hips are level on the mat. And the thigh bones are long over the bolster. And the lower legs are relaxed. You can have the ankles wider than the knees or the hips if that feels good. And then let's start with our cultivation of kindness. Seeing if you can bring to mind a recent gesture of kindness that maybe someone did for you or you did for somebody. And just bringing that kindness to mind and just feeling it. And if the visualization is hard for you, you can just kind of gently turn up the sides of the mouth. Just kind of a gentle smile. That can be a helpful way to cultivate kindness. And so we're going to shine that kindness on the different dimensions of our being, right? And we're going to welcome them all one by one. And we'll start by shining the light of kindness onto the physical body. As if you have like a flash lamp and your flashlight, and you're gently scanning the body with the light of kindness. Noticing sensations, noticing parts of the body on the earth. You might notice some hollow feelings, some changes in temperature. Or some of you are working with injuries tonight, and just seeing if you can notice how that feels. Right? Just focusing on the sensation, even if it's unpleasant. And just kind of opening up to it instead of maybe pushing it away or adding a negative story. Continuing to scan the physical body. And then with kindness, welcome all these sensations and discomforts that exist in you tonight, right? Welcoming them to your practice. And then let's turn to another dimension of our being, the emotional body. Right? Tuning into the, I guess, the whirlwind of emotions. And remembering there can be many kind of opposite emotions existing at the same time. There could be gratitude for the blue skies that we are having in San Francisco, or there might be some anguish or heartbreak about something personal or something going on in the world. Right? So just shining the light of kindness on that whole array of emotions, pleasant and unpleasant. And welcoming them into your practice. Right? So just allowing without trying to change. And then let's move to another dimension of our being, the mental body. If you like, you can bring your attention to the head, the brain, the mind, noticing the pace or the rhythm of the thoughts, the stories, the narratives. It's like an ongoing movie, this part of our being, constantly making sense of things or trying to make sense of things, like an ongoing commentary. And sometimes it can be painful, right? When the mental body is negative. And so see if you can shine the kindness onto any of those difficult stories that might be coming up for you. They come and they go, but they can haunt us. And seeing if you can just welcome the full array of stories and narratives, even the ones that haunt us or haunt you. Welcome to my practice tonight. As you are, welcome. And then let's move to the energetic body and start our breathing practice. And let's bring the palms of our hands onto the belly, palms facing down, elbows relaxed on the earth. Let's sip in a little bit of air through the nose, just enough to feel the belly rise into the hands, and then gentle release out the mouth. Gentle inhale through the nose, about 70% of max capacity, feeling the belly rise into the hands. And then exhale out the mouth, feel the belly soften in towards the spine, all the way in. Inhaling through the nose with ease, feeling the belly rise into the hands. And then exhale, opening the mouth wide, long, cleansing exhale. Exhaling into the emptiness at the base of the exhale. So settling in here to a nice, gentle breathing rhythm. Just watching the belly rise on the inhale. And on the exhale, watching the belly release and soften in towards the spine. So you can breathe out the nose with the lips gently sealed, or you can exhale out the mouth, whichever is more intuitive for you. And then with the next exhale, staying with the exhale till all the breath has left the body. And then releasing into the surrender, the emptiness at the base of the exhale. Last round on the belly. And then let's move to the side ribs. Just bringing the hands to the side body. Gently cupping the side ribs, elbows relaxed on the earth. Inhale into the belly, and then continuing into the side ribs, feeling them expand into the hands. And then exhale, opening the mouth. On the exhale, releasing into the moment after exhale. So as you inhale through the nose, feel the ribs move up and out. And then as you exhale, feel the ribs move in and down. So settling into a few cycles in your own rhythm. And just observing the moment at the base of the exhale. Without trying to stay there. Just witnessing. And then last round here. Last round with the side body. And then let's bring the palms of the hands to the upper chest. palms facing down, elbows relaxed on the earth. And so now inhaling belly, side ribs, mid back, upper back, and into the upper chest. And then exhale, opening the mouth, long cleansing exhale, down the central channel of the body and into the pelvic floor. Inhaling belly, side ribs, mid back, upper back, and into the upper chest. And then long melting exhale out the mouth, down past the heart, the lungs, the belly, and into the pelvic floor. Exhaling into the emptiness at the base of the exhale. And so settling into your own rhythm. As you inhale through the nose, inhaling down into the belly. And then feeling the lift in the upper chest. And then opening the mouth or exhaling out the nose. Releasing any smoky energy, negative, gray fog. It sounds very depressing. Releasing anything that is ready to go. Last 2 rounds here. Inhaling belly, side ribs, mid back, upper back, and into the upper chest. And then opening the mouth, long cleansing exhale, all the way down past the belly and into the pelvic floor. And then returning the arms beside the body. Noticing where you have arrived. Noticing if you can start to feel the quiet, the serenity. Maybe not. And that's okay. And as we go deeper into the practice, we will break through more of the congestive layers of the mental and emotional body. And so the theme of tonight's practice is, well, physically we're working with the spine, right? Bringing awareness to the spine. And this is the bladder energy channel, which runs up the back body. And when it's out of balance, we can have a fear of change and a lack of trust. And so if you'd like to set an intention to support your practice tonight around any of those themes, or maybe there's an area of your life that you would like to be more trusting, or an area of your life where you would like to be able to embrace change more, they might be good intentions. See what you think. And then bringing your intention to mind. Let's set our intention with the sound of Om. Inhaling for Om. Ah. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest, wrapping the arms around the knees. Gently squeezing the knees in, Feeling the lower back broaden on the earth, lengthening the back of the neck, shoulders down and back. The jaw is soft. And then let's roll over to the left side if that's comfortable. If not, you can do the right side. And then on the inhale, coming up to straight spine. So we're going to move into butterfly as our first yin pose. And we're going to do a little different modification tonight, as we are going to, the target tissue for tonight's practice is the spine. And so let's definitely come up on our blanket like we always do, okay? And that blanket is about maybe 3 inches high. And you want to have a prop here that you can fold forward onto. And so you're going to just move the flesh of the buttocks back, coming onto the edge of the blanket. And let's have a larger shape, right? A diamond shape. So the soles of the feet are together, and move them about maybe 1.25 feet, the heels from the pelvis, right? So there's a pretty larger gap than normal there, right? And as we come forward, you'll notice that we'll be able to go deeper into the spine with that, right? We're going to go less into the thighs and the groin. Okay, so let's see how that feels. Let's inhale through the crown of the head and then exhale coming forward. Fingertips until you feel the sensation. You'll start to feel it in the lower back. And then coming to your first edge, right? And staying on the conservative side of your first edge where you feel a moderate sensation anywhere along that spine, right? We have 3 sections there. We have the lower spine, the mid spine, and the upper spine. And once you have that moderate sensation and there is no pain, no tingling, no discomfort, your breath is relaxed and you can stay for a while. You have the option here to turn the head in, which will give traction on the cervical spine. But only do that if you have no neck issues, right? Otherwise, you can support the head coming down onto your bolster. Okay, so you will be feeling a sensation in the outer hips and inner thighs for sure, but the target tissue that we want to bring our awareness to tonight is the spine. All right, so this is a decompression exercise for the spine, right? So we're lengthening the longitudinal ligaments on either side of the spine. And so let's take an inhale through the nose, down into the belly, and then exhale out the mouth. So starting to melt into the pose. Just bringing your attention to the sensations. Notice where on the back body you're feeling this. For me, it's the lower back. I'm also feeling it in my cervical spine. I'm turning my head in. And if you are turning the head in, just inviting the flesh on the face to melt and soften. And so Desiree, if this is hurting your knee, you can place a folded blanket underneath that knee. I think it's your right one, you said. to make it more restorative. And you can bring the knee up at any height to protect that. You can breathe in and out the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth, whichever feels better for you. As the achiness increases, this is where the juiciness of the pose experience, the lubrication and the connective tissue. Right? So seeing if you can stay with this sensation, right? It'll feel like an ache or waves of sensation, waves of achiness. Should not be painful. If it's painful, lift the head. You should definitely respect that. This is kind of an achy sensation, not any pain. Okay, so 3, 4 more breaths here. Last breath, a gentle inhale through the nose and down into the belly. And then exhale, open the mouth. And then on the inhale, moving the prop out of the way, finger tipping back to straight spine. And then you can lengthen the legs out. And you can, let's do the rebound pose here, right? So the rebound pose is, we're going to stay in the rebound a little bit longer tonight, right? Because we're working with the spine. And we're going to be very gentle and give the spine time to recalibrate. So you can bring the palms of the hands behind or on the thighs. And see if you can just soften the jaw here. Just kind of watching the rebound in the body. You might be feeling waves or a sensation that feels like a gentle wind blowing. And if you're not feeling that, just trust that this is the energetic rebound, right? Where the connective tissue that we compressed along the spine is sending, distributing fresh chi right along the spine and into in this case, the bladder organ, right? We're working with the bladder energy channel tonight mostly. The back body, the back of the spine. Just staying with the rebound for a little bit more. Last breath here. And then gently opening the eyes if they were closed. And from here, we're going to move into caterpillar pose. So you're going to stay on the blanket. And if you can take another blanket for under your knees, I think I'll have to use my bolster. I don't have another blanket handy. We'll pretend this is a blanket. Right, so you're on the edge of the blanket. You're going to move the flesh of the buttocks back, and you have a folded blanket under the knees, and the legs are straight. Right, so this is another forward fold. And so what we want to do is just take the focus from the backs of the legs onto the spine. Right, so you're just going to inhale through the crown of the head, and then exhale coming forward. And so we want to feel this forward fold in the spine. And so for those of you that are very flexible, you can probably do this without any support under the knees, but you'll feel it more in the legs than the spine. Right? So just building some awareness around that, just realizing how when we put a prop or when we bend the knees, how the spine, we can access the spine more. And again, the spine is decompressing here. And you have several options for the neck. If you have no neck issues, you can allow the head to turn in, providing traction on the neck, the cervical spine. Or you can bring another prop underneath the forehead and allow the head to relax. Or you could get creative with the hands and use the hands to support the head. Okay, so in this shape, notice where you're feeling this in the spine. And for me, I'm feeling this more in the mid-back, the thoracic spine. And again, you just want a moderate sensation up the spine. You don't want to come in too fast. And your edge is where the breath is relaxed. It's a moderate sensation, and you think you can stay for a while. Okay, so dropping into your breath. Coming back to that kindness of breath. So very gentle, very loving, very nurturing, intimate breath. And breathing in and out the nose. Can feel good here. The breath can be constricted because of the intensity of the forward fold. And so very gentle breathing here. Noticing if the sensations in the spine are shifting. Okay, last 3-4 breaths here. And then when you're ready, inhale, pressing the palms into the hand, coming up to straight spine, moving the blanket out of the way. And please come lying on your belly, moving slowly. Right? You're going to feel quite achy. And just come lying on the belly. Stacking the hands, turning the head to one side. You can rock the hips and invite the bones just to drop into the mat, releasing the heaviness of the flesh. Noticing what's happening in the body as the flow of energy moves from the areas that we just worked along the energy lines. In this case, up the spine. And we also did some lower body work as well. So you might feel some sensations or waves. And then turning the head the opposite direction. See if you can release the belly a little bit more into the earth. By just inviting a complete surrender of the physical body. Okay, last breath here. Okay, so from here we're going to move into Sphinx. And if you normally come up on a blanket under the elbows, please don't do that yet, because we're going to add a variation that will intensify things. So the variation is optional. And so elbows under the shoulders, right? Let's just clasp the opposite elbows and let's get that foundation, right? It's almost as if the bones are holding us up here. And then you can have the hands together or the palms down. And then you want just the flesh of the shoulders and the upper back to release, soften. And then just a very, very gentle lift in the heart, just very enough so there's not a complete collapse. And you can turn the head in. Or if you have blocks handy, you can support the forehead. You can just allow the head to come onto a block or a blanket or even a bolster, right? So we're going to start with a light sensation in the lower back, right? We always want to start light sensation in Sphinx. And so let's just move the hips from side to side, right? So we're not activating the buttocks here like an active yoga, right? So this is very yin, right? Very, very soft. And you're just feeling a sensation here. Okay. So then what we're going to do is just widen the legs. Right, so just bring the legs out a little bit. I just have to move my bolster. And as you do that, right, you're just moving them maybe 2-3 inches on each side to begin. You're feeling the sensation in the lumbar spine, the lower back, right? And again, you can allow this to become light to moderate sensation, but we definitely don't want we don't want a lot of sensation here because we're going to be here for a while and the sensation will definitely increase. And so you can experiment here a little bit, you can widening the legs a little bit more and feeling the pelvis anchor into the earth. And this will accentuate the back bend here. Okay, if this is too much for you, you can just bring the legs the usual way. The legs are straight. And if you still need to back off, you can bring the elbows forward. Okay, so finding the right variation of the legs. And then see if you can relax the buttocks with the legs wide. And see how that feels. And then softening the face. Releasing the jaw. And if you do want to go a little bit deeper, of course, you can come up on that blanket or that bolster. Or if you have a very strong, active back bend, you can try seal. Just turn the hands out a little bit to the right or to the either side of the mat to protect the wrists. So the arms are holding up the body here. Again, you want to kind of underdo here, right? You just want that light to moderate sensation. And again, remembering that this is an energy enhancement practice, right? Yes, we use the physical body, but this is really about moving currents or generating currents of energy around the body, currents of chi to help us balance emotions and create energetic balance in the body. Okay, so if you set an intention for tonight's class, perhaps you'd like to bring that to mind now. And just bring it to mind without any agenda. Just seeing if there are any insights or maybe your relationship towards the intention, or maybe there's a different angle that might come up. Or a lot of the time when we do this work, we feel, or sometimes we can, like for me, sometimes I can, oh, this is something I need to do in that area, right? So again, these yin poses are all opportunities for self-reflection, meditation, and insight. Okay, so last 3, 4 breaths here. Okay, let's take that last breath together. Inhaling through the nose and down into the belly. And exhale, open the mouth. Okay, so we're going to come out. Let's scoot the legs back to center. And then very slowly coming up onto the elbows, moving the hips back, the heels in. And let's start with the knees a little bit wide. The hips go back towards the heels, and let's come into wide knee child's pose just for 2 breaths, and then we're going to bring the knees together after we've given the lower back just a chance to broaden. And when you're ready, you can stay for a little bit there, or you can bring the knees together, coming back into child's pose. Knees together, arms reach out in front, fingers wide, palms spread. If Desiree, I know that you have a sore arm as well. You can try different arm variations to see which might work for you. You can have arms beside the body, palms facing up towards the sky. Or you can have the arms reaching out front. Okay, so bringing your attention back to the spine. Noticing sensations, areas of tightness, areas that are more fluid. And as you notice the sensations, are they coming from deep within the body? Like, what is the depth of the sensation? Is it deep, buried in the body, coming from, say, the bone to the tissue, out to the skin? Okay. Last 3-4 breaths here. And on the inhale, pressing into the palms. And please come to seated, lengthening the crown of the head towards the sky. Just move the chin back a little bit and move the shoulders back a little bit. So you have this broadening across the heart. Relaxing the belly. And bringing your attention to the spine. Noticing bring your attention to the lower back, the lower spine. Bringing back that light of kindness, right? Shining that light of kindness onto the lower back, just sending kindness to yourself. Any areas of the spine, the nervous system that needs some gentleness, some support. As if you're gently caressing that part of the body with kindness. And bring your attention to the mid-spine, the mid-body, the mid-back. And again, as if you're shining the light of kindness on the mid-back. Sending love and kindness into that part of the body. And then moving to the upper back, the upper spine, shining the light of kindness into the upper back. Gently caressing it. And then bring your attention to the breath. Let's inhale through the nose, down into the belly. And then exhale, open the mouth. So we're going to move on to cattail. And cattail is a complicated pose to teach and also to do. But we have prepared the body for it. And it's a twisted back bend. And we're going to do it in stages, so you'll be able to figure out which is the right level for you. So we're going to need one prop, and that's going to be a blanket, right? So if you can just kind of fold a blanket like this, and I will demo one side to you first. So I'm going to lie on my back, and the blanket is on my left side, okay? And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bend my knees, and then I'm going to just lift the pelvis to the left, and then I'm going to scoot the legs to the left. And then I'm going to straighten the right leg down, and then I'm just going to come over onto the left leg so that that knee is not touching the earth. That's okay. And then I'm going to put the blanket onto the head. And then I'm going to go a little bit further, right? I'm going to scooch this leg. I'm going to turn the toes in and down, and then I'm going to catch that leg, right? And so the more you'll feel it, the wider the knees are together, the more you'll feel it, right? So this is cattail, and I'm moving back my head, right? So it's a twisted back bend, and it's really delicious. Now this is the full expression of the pose, and I'll guide you through different modifications. Many of you might like just to stay here. This is a really nice version of the pose. Okay, so the blanket under the head is important. So please place that just on the floor on the left side on the floor, right up by your head. And then you're going to scoot over towards the left side of the mat. Right, so the blanket is on the left side. It's on the floor, not on the mat, and the body is on the left side of the mat. The knees are bent, and the soles of the feet are on the earth. And then I'm going to lift my hips. I'm going to lift the hips and the pelvis to the left and back down, and then I'm going to scoot the feet, right? So they're kind of like at 10 p.m. now. My knees are facing with, say, 10 p.m. And then I'm going to straighten the right leg down. And then this left leg comes over, right? So this is kind of like a familiar twist. And the left foot is on the earth. And I'm feeling this in the lower back mostly, okay? And so you can just leave your blanket there for a while. So for those of you that want to stay here, you can stay here. And you also have the option to straighten that left leg out, which will intensify it, or you can keep that knee bent. For those of you that want to go a little bit further, what you can do is you turn the toes on that right leg in towards the earth, and you lift that hip over towards the right. So you're coming over more onto the right, the front to the right thigh, and then you'll just kick the place the hand around the foot. You can place the hand any way you want, and then finding that right position for the head, Actually, that blanket was too high. And I like to catch the pinky toe side of the foot. And then you're leaning back into it so that the head is supported by the blanket. Right, so twisted back bend here. I'm also feeling it on the quad, the front of the thigh. Okay. And so coming to kind of a moderate sensation in the body. And if you want to go, if you want to do an additional, you can pull the foot closer in towards the buttocks if you'd like to go deeper into that right quad, into that right thigh. And so to go deeper, widen the knees further away from each other. I'd move the right knee away from the left knee. And that will take you deeper again. Okay, so notice on the spine where you're feeling this. For me, I'm feeling this in the upper body because I have my hand around my right foot. And my head is facing up towards the sky, right? So I'm kind of leaning back into this. I'm feeling it across the back to the shoulders. See if you can relax into this complicated shape. Bring your attention to the breath. On the inhale, feel the belly rise. And on the exhale, feel the belly release. So for those of you that have the left knee bent on the earth, and see if you'd like to straighten that left leg. Might take you a little bit deeper. You certainly get a stretch in the back of that left leg. See how that feels. Right, so just 3, 4 more breaths here. Okay, so we're going to come out in stages. If you have that left knee straight, or left leg straight, you can just bend the left leg, returning it to the earth, and then releasing the right foot down, and then rolling over onto the lower back, scooching the hips back to center. If your head is comfortable, you can keep it on the blanket. Let's just bend the knees, soles of the feet on the earth. You might be feeling some achiness. Keep the knees bent if that's the case, or you can bring the legs down straight. Widen the legs a little bit wider than you normally would, and widen the arms a little bit wider than you normally would. Lengthen the back of the neck and just drop into this shape. Feeling any spaciousness in the body, or winds gently blowing in the body. Waves. Okay. Last 2 breaths here. Okay, and then let's bend the knees in towards the chest, gently squeezing the knees in. And releasing soles of the feet to the earth. And then let's get set up for the other side. So now we're going to move over to the right side of the mat. And we're going to place that blanket head height on the floor beside the mat. Okay. So my blanket is just here. So the body is straight and I'm over on the right side of the mat. And now I'm going to bend it. Sorry, I got confused there. I'm going to bend the soles of the feet. Right, so the knees are bent. And then I am going to scoot the hips over to, lift the hips to the right a little bit. And then also back down and then bring the knees as well, right? So the knees are kind of pointing towards 2 p.m. this side. And then I'm going to straighten the left leg down. And then I'm just going to bring that right leg over onto the earth. You can see my knee is not on the earth. That's fine. My lower leg is. And this is, you can stay here. This would be kind of the first stage. You're feeling a little bit of compression in the lower back. If you choose to stay here, you can experiment with straightening the leg. And so for those of you that want to come a little bit deeper, let's turn the toes of the left foot under and we lift that knee and we're pressing the front of that thigh down into the earth, right? So you're lifting that knee and the front of the left thigh is facing down towards the earth. And then I'm just going to lift the leg and scoot that knee over towards the right. So the knees are moving away from each other. And then I have the blanket under my head. Okay, and I'm looking up towards the sky. Let's see if you can straighten that right leg. And so the main thing that happens here in the pose is that the bent knee, right? The knee that belongs to the foot that you're holding is straight, right? It becomes parallel to it becomes in line with the hips, but really you want it over towards the right a little bit more, right? So the knees are moving away from each other. If you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, you can just pull that left foot in towards the buttocks and you'll feel the stretch on the front of the left thigh. Okay, so noticing where you're feeling this along the spine. So you want the breath to be relaxed. If it's not, please back off. You can let the leg go. Softening the jaw. Feeling the achiness, perhaps the front of that left thigh. the lower back, mid back, upper back. So relaxing into the complexity of the pose and backing off when you need to. Okay, last 2, 3 breaths here. Let's take the last breath together, inhaling through the nose, down into the belly, and then exhale, open the mouth. And then we're going to start by, if you have the right leg straight, you can just bend that knee, and then releasing the left foot. And then let's come down onto the belly. So you're returning the right shoulder to the earth, moving very slowly here. And then as you come onto the belly, and just straighten the body. And you'll feel an achiness in the lower back, perhaps the mid back and the upper back. And just inviting that to settle. And then on the inhale, coming up onto the elbows, and let's keep the knees wide, move the hips back over the heels. To begin with, feeling the lower back broaden. Forward to the earth if you have that. If you have the space, arms reaching out. And let's bring the knees together. Last breath here. And then coming down into final Shavasana. You can cross the ankles over each other, sit bones to the earth, and then scoot the hips down. Final Shavasana. If your lower back is a little bit sensitive from the twist, you can create extra height under the knees. You can build a structure. And then you can have the knees wide or the knees together. And then if you'd like to put some length in the spine, so we'll all do this together, right? So come lying on your back into Shavasana. And we're going to start by lacing the hands behind the head, right? So just the base of the spine, elbows are on the earth to begin with. And so we're going to lift the head. So the hands are lifting the head, allow the head to fall back into the hands. And then we're just going to traction the back of the neck, right? So we're lifting the head and we're pulling the head towards the top of the mat and then back down, right? So you're feeling traction in the back of the neck. And then we're going to bend the knees, soles of the feet on your bolster. And we're going to lift the hips. We're going to lift the pelvis and just bring the pelvis up towards the sky and forward, right? So again, we're lifting the pelvis and then just scooting the hips forward a little bit. And you'll feel that traction in the spine. And you can do that again if you want, lifting the head, just tractioning the back of the neck, lengthening the back of the neck, and back down. And then arms beside the body, and just coming into straight spine. Bending the knees in towards the chest, wrapping the arms around the knees. Gently squeezing the knees in. And then rolling over to one side. And then pressing the palm into the earth, coming up to seated. So let's move the flesh of the buttocks back, feeling steady on the sit bones, lengthening through the spine, reaching through the crown of the head. And just taking a moment to notice your spine, noticing any areas of fluidity, noticing if it feels more awake, more free. Or if there's some achiness, perhaps you can take a bath tonight with some Epsom salts. And so let's bring the right hand onto the heart, the left hand onto the heart on the right. And let's bring to mind the intention that you may have set at the start of class. And let's set that intention out to the universe together, where everything is taken care of, right? The divine laws of the universe take care of everything. And let's do that with the sound of inhaling for Ah. Hands to prayer, thumbs to third eye. Let's bow to each other, the practice, and our teachers. Namaste.